Okay, hey guys, William Furno here today. I said it really fast. William Furno here today with a new Bionicle Summer 2016 review for you guys. This is the first set I will be reviewing out of the whole entire wave of Summer 2016 Bionicle sets. And today we're going to be taking a look at Ekimu the Mask Maker. Now, I know that people are probably going to ask, I did buy these in store at Toys R Us. They were on the shelves. So it's safe to say that they're going to start showing up on shelves now. But I did find this only in Toys R Us and no other store. I was able to pick up all the other 4 sets as well. So yeah, let's just start it off here, taking a look at the box. We have this nice artwork of Ekimu, and then in the background we see Umarak the Destroyer. He has 94 pieces, the smallest one, or the smallest piece count out of all of them, and of course Ekimu the Mask Maker. And then on the back here we have just the new cool shot of him. We get this trans red-orange Umarak mask. I think it's orange, that's the trans neon orange, yeah. Shows his functions, and then for the comic we have Umarak the Destroyer coming out of whatever that is, walking towards this volcano that we don't yet know what the volcano will be doing. Then we see Ekimu in his Mask Maker form, and he appears and he battles Umarak the Destroyer, and then we see this nice new trans blue mask of creation. I have like the brand new wave jitters, you know, like those little shivers that you get, so let's open this up. Okay, so that's it for the box. Alright, so we have 2 bags of parts and 1 instruction booklet. Let's just quickly look at the instruction booklet. On the inside here we obviously have how to build the set. Duh. All the pieces. The comic is enlarged here, so you can look at it better, and then you have this nice poster for the Summer Wave, which I think is just awesome. Then we have the combination model between all the beasts and Umarak the Destroyer. I actually think that I might build this one and review it for you guys, not because I like it, I think it looks a little weird, but just because I feel like it would be a cool idea to review the combo models. And on the back here, Tahu is saying win. I'm just going to open these bags quick and sort out the parts. So here are the parts that come with the set. Over here, just like Technic bits that I decided not to really put on screen just because those aren't as interesting. So if you want to pause it, you can take a look at... Sorry, I'm just adjusting the tripod. If you want to pause it, you can take a look at the parts we have here, but I will just briefly go over some of the more interesting parts. Starting off, these aren't new, but we haven't really seen them a lot at all. We did see them last year with Ekimu, but it's nice to see that they're back. They're just little armor add-ons. We get a lot of gold plating over here. We have this gold shield, we have a couple gold armor add-ons, gold feet, gold shells. We have this nice trans blue saw. This is a new mold for Summer 2016. It's more of a crystal rock. I think it looks really pretty in this trans blue color, but it is not an add-on, it is just a ball joint stick thing. Sorry, I'm at a loss of words today. You only come with 1 of these in this set though, so if you want more of them, I'd either go to Bricklink or buy another copy of this set. You have a whopping 5 trans blue bone pieces. So that's kind of crazy. So yeah, and then over here we have 2 trans blue hands and a whopping 9 size 4 trans blue armor shells. That is a little insane. And to add to the trans blue mix, we do have this trans blue new 2016 torso. It's very glassy. I kind of like it. It's not as blue as you'd think it would be. It's very see-through. And it does have this gold plating on here and this new symbol, I think, with the Nuva symbols going down the side here. Really cool, a little bit of an ab design right there. I do like it, I think it looks nice. We'll have to just see how it looks with the rest of the set. Then we have this awesome trans blue Mask of Creation. I just think this looks awesome. It's really, really cool. They even got like all the detailing on there really, really nicely. If the camera's picking that up there, it's really, really nice, and you can really feel it all. It's very nice. I like it. It's a nice new Mask of Creation. Then we do have the Umarak mask with a melded trans neon orange kind of back, and this is gunmetal. Yeah, that is gunmetal. That is not black. That is gunmetal. So I wonder how this is going to connect to the story. Anyway, if there's any more parts you want to look at, you can just kind of take a look right now, but that's pretty much it. I'll just go and build it. Alright guys, we're back with the finished Ekimu the Mask Maker. So let's get this started. I'm just going to move this out of the way. We'll get to something like with that later. I'm just going to start off by talking about the build. The build was standard, but it had a few different things added to it. I thought it was a fun build, but at the same time there was a lot of reused things. obviously because in this Gen 2, a lot of the attributes for the year get reused and reused. So the build was like average but fun. It was a little different just because of the weapons and some of the stuff in the back here. But other than that, it was a pretty average build. Functions, let's get into the functions. So the functions would be one, this shield can spin. Not very much though. It is connected through a pin, so it has a bit more friction to it. And then of course posability, he has a standard amount of posability, a little more in these sort of shoulder pads. I don't know if you'd call these shoulder pads, and then of course one in the neck. And then for another function they have this elongated eye stalk again, and I don't know why they chose this one, maybe just because last year's Ekimu had it, but anyway, it's pretty standard. You just tap it and it falls off, and that is basically it. Like, that's what it does. And then on the back here, they did bring back the armed gear function, although only on his hammer arm like last year. And for some reason, they did this thing that like they did with Onua in 2015, where they put a ball joint connector to add the friction to this, which I just don't really like. I mean, it works, but it's a little harder to move, so like the playability is a little harder to use, and that's kind of a problem in my opinion. And then the final function is they also did the waist. So you just turn the, oh gosh, that sounds terrible. It's very squeaky when you first, I don't know if any of your sets, tell me in the comments guys if any of your 2016 sets came with, not just the summer sets, but like the Toa as well, it came with squeaky. Oh, that sounds terrible. Anyway, you get it. Yeah, so it's the first set that ever put the armed gearbox and the waist gearbox in one set, and it works okay, but it looks weird from the back because you have two different gears like sticking out. Thankfully though, they used a black gear for both of these, so like you won't have that giant yellow gear, because I think by now people buying these products should realize that this giant gear, if you turn it, it does something with the arm. Like, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I don't think LEGO needs to add any more giant yellow parts, which is pretty nice. Now the next is the color scheme. This is where things get pretty debated. Obviously the colors are trans blue and gold, but it's not really the color scheme that bugs me, it's the distribution of the color scheme, and this bugged me from the start when those like foggy leaked pictures came out. For some reason, LEGO decided to jumble all the gold down here on his lower legs, and then keep none for the upper legs. And then up here on the shoulders, and just little bits on the ends of his arms, and then a little bit with the shield. The gold is just, there's just not enough of it, and I just don't want to sound like, you know, it's just, there's just not enough flat colors. It's mostly trans blue. Of course, it all like kind of resonates in the middle here, where you have this giant chest piece, the trans blue mask of creation, which is pretty beautiful by the way, I think, even though it's hurting the color distribution, it's a really nice piece. Anyway, then you have the upper legs here, which, let me just tell you, aren't armored enough. This does not cover up the bone enough, so it's very see-through, and like you can see the black bones behind it, and it doesn't look right. And then we have just the shoulders around here, and then the hands are trans blue as well as the hammer. And then this gunmetal piece sort of hurts it a little bit, but honestly it doesn't bug me as much as it might bug some other people. I understand that it is a weapon and that it might be a different color. I'm happy that they didn't choose like a weird color, like, you know, I'd be happy that they didn't choose like red. I don't know why they would, but anyway, it's just nice that they still chose a metallic color to go along with the rest of the set, though some people might find that annoying, but personally I don't. So yeah, that's basically what I have to say on the colors. They're just, the gold is not distributed enough, and even with the gold, both of the colors are not very well distributed, making the set look like an entity that slapped gold armor on in some places. Which actually, that's been a speculation for a while, that this set might be like a projection of Ekimu, and it's like an entity like type body that he is controlling. But anyway, then of course you do have the trans blue bones as well, which this arm actually doesn't. For some reason it's kind of like Onua 2016, and this arm does. And so I think that is because you can connect the hammer into this hand. Well, I can't find the axle because these trans blue hands are so see-through, but I think you guys get it. Basically, they made this arm a little more posable, a little more open, just so they could pose the hammer, but it actually doesn't really help at all, just because this arm is closed. So that would be another con with this set, that for some reason LEGO decided that this arm would be the correct arm to leave open, when really it should just have been both. I mean, you do one, you do the other. You get an uneven amount of trans blue bones in here in this set. And then the weapons. Honestly, the weapons aren't anything amazing, but at the same time, I actually do respect that LEGO kept his weapons from last year, just sort of upgraded upon them. We got the shield here, which actually does have posability. You can do that, you can do that, you can turn it and everything. The only problem I have with it is the build that sort of connects it onto his arm. It's actually pretty smart. I wouldn't have thought this up myself unless I thought really hard about it. But at the same time, it sticks out a lot. If you're just holding his arm to the side, it sticks out a lot. There's a big gap here. But if you do this, it just looks weird. So the best positioning for the arm to look okay is like maybe slanting the shield a little bit so that it looks like that. I still would have found a way to connect it to the hand so that you hold it like this and it still sticks out in the front like this. That's kind of what I did with my BioHero mock. It was a simple three-piece solution to that problem. Over here on the hammer, it does not have like any functions. Nothing's really posable on it at all. It's just kind of there. It's there to hit stuff. It can't even like shoot the studs from last year. So I wouldn't say it's a worthy upgrade from last year's, but it's definitely not the worst weapon. I do again respect that LEGO kept the same weapons from last year, just sort of upgraded upon them. And then overall, there's another main problem I have with this set. It's the height. So basically, and stability. The height and stability of this set is way off. Basically, you have this huge chunk of just Technic up here that does the gearboxes, and then you have like how they connect all of the armor on under here, and it's just it's a top-heavy thing. And then on the bottom here, you have these legs where only one of the bone pieces on the upper legs, they have that hole in there, that pinhole that it like sort of lengthens them just slightly, and it looks really weird. It really does. When you bend the knee, you have this really long upper leg, and you have this really short, stubby sort of shin area, and it also doesn't have a lot of stability down there because there's no friction pieces. Sorry, I lost the word there. There's no friction add-ons. There's no different connectors. They didn't even elongate the bones here, which I know that there is 2 more versions of this available where there's either 1 pinhole or 2 pinholes, and it can just easily have elongated that, and it just ends up looking really weird. Like, look at how unproportionate that looks to the rest of the body. This guy looks really big from up here, and then you have like these little stubs. I'm legitimately really annoyed by this. It kind of kills it for me. Not the entire set, it just looks, look at that, it just looks so weird, and when you have it in your hands, it feels even weirder. And then up here you have these shoulder pads, and they're sort of not connected on the shoulder, and that kind of annoys me as well. You can get, it doesn't really hurt this set at all, it doesn't have any, I don't have any problems with them, but they just look kind of weird the way they connected them. So now I'm just gonna go grab Ekimu, not the Mask Maker. I'm gonna grab just the first version of Ekimu and Umarak to show you guys what the masks look like on switched around. Alright, so first let's take a look at what the golden Mask of Creation looks like on Ekimu the Mask Maker. Alright, so actually this doesn't look terrible, but it actually makes it worse. Because then you just have the gold distributed down here and all the way up here, and it just doesn't look right. So I would say don't do this. Leave the trans blue one on, because that looks much better. But then you can attach this up here. This actually looks okay, but the mask is actually way too small to fit with the character. It just looks a little weird. I would suggest using a larger mask. I think the Mask of Creation was a good choice to put on this set. So that takes care of that. But let's take a look at what the trans blue one looks like on Ekimu the Mask Maker, if this can get on, because I know the shorter version of Ekimu has a bit of a problem here. Alright, it doesn't look terrible. It definitely looks different, but I'm going to leave this up to you. So that's that. Let's just put his regular Mask of Creation back on. Let's take the, where'd it go, trans blue one and put it back on. the respective set. Alright, now we have Umarak here. I'm gonna just set him off to the side. We have Umarak here. Sorry, he doesn't have a bow in his hand right now. I've been doing a bit of Victims of the Hunt stuff for my next series, and he doesn't have his bow all the time. Anyway, let's take this off, and let's put this on. Alright, again, this wasn't meant to be on the set, but I'm gonna leave it to you guys. Tell me what you think of that. I think it looks menacing, but it doesn't fit with the color scheme that much at all. So that's that. I will just go ahead and get everything set back up. So overall, I can't say that I like this set too much. I've seen a lot of mocks of a Toa Ekimu that are better than this. So it's kind of a flop, but at the same time, it's a weird set. Like, it's not a bad set. It's not like, oh, don't buy this set. Because it has a lot of cool parts, but at the same time, when you build it, it just looks weird. And I really don't think this is the ideal larger version of Ekimu that I would have wanted in the end. It is what we got, and I guess we'll have to deal with it. But I'm gonna give this set a 7 out of 10. If you don't know what that really means, an 8 to 10 out of 10 is like, wow, this set is awesome. I would say a 5 to 7 is meh, and anything below that, the set's gotta really suck for me to rate it that low. But anyway, this set is not terrible, but at the same time, it kind of went way below my expectations. It did not exceed them in any way whatsoever. So yeah, I would recommend picking this set up if you're a mocker, because like this has a lot of nice mocking parts. And if you were the regular Bionicle collector, yeah, I would say this is a pretty good set. But if you were the regular LEGO goer that was just looking for some nice sets and to have nice parts, this set is really up to you. I wouldn't, if I was like a big fan of the other sets, I would not pick up this set. But all in all, it's a fair set. I'll say it's a fair set. Anyway, that is all I have for you today. Not today, actually. I'm gonna have Quake Beast today as well. But that is all on Ekimu the Mask Maker I have for you today. Next, we'll be taking a look at Quake Beast. See you guys later.